Hey guys, Pat Ryerke here, also known as the Patriarchy, kicking social justice ass, and all kinds of ass, into 2017 and beyond. So here's the thing. I haven't done a Bill Nye video yet because, quite frankly, everyone did a Bill Nye video within the first, 3 or 4 days of Bill Nye Saves the World coming out. And everyone focused on that terrible gender episode, or the sex is a spectrum episode with sex junk and Nye saying that clownfish can change sex. Like, okay, what does that have to do with us? Oh man, my dick got cut off, but lizards can grow their tails back. It'll come back. But anyway, everyone was sharing that photo of Bill Nye from the 90s saying that, chromosomes decide your sex or gender or whatever. Decide your gender. And that was the photo. Now, this photo was shared everywhere because everyone's been attacking Bill Nye. This has really turned into a big battle. Just in my personal experience of social media, all of my liberal friends are defending Bill Nye and pissed off and trying to show his qualifications as a mechanical engineer and stuff. And then everyone else is sharing memes and making fun of him and calling him a hack. I'll say this. I'm no longer in the middle on Bill Nye. I used to be like, well, Bill Nye, he's right about a lot of things, and he's also wrong about some things, and he's a little... But now I'm just like, nah, fuck Bill Nye. After this coming out, I think he's anti-science at this point. He has a political ideology that influences the science and who he wants to talk to and how he frames a show. And I don't think he did that when he did a kid show in the 90s. I think it was much more objective, and I have an issue with that sexuality episode in particular this season. I thought was incredibly off point. But let's just go into this story specifically with Bill Nye. And I feel like a lot of people, because of the climate change argument, associate Bill Nye with everything. It's always their argument from authority, like, well, Bill Nye, the science guy, said it, so it has to be true. But anyway, okay, this is from Gizmodo, which is a terrible place, but this viral photo of Bill Nye talking about gender is completely fake. Fake! Have you seen this screenshot from an old episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy? It shows Nye with the caption, "Gender is determined by your chromosomes." Alt-right social media users have been posting it because Nye recently said that gender is on the spectrum, but the old image is completely fake. Now, the whole accusation throughout this whole article is that it's all alt-right trolls and alt-right people that posted this. No, it wasn't. I'm not alt-right. Here's the thing. We're going to debunk this in a second. This actually was said in a Bill Nye episode. All somebody did was took basically the information from an episode and put it over an image of Bill Nye to make a meme. You could argue if it was being false in a sense how it was presenting it, but I'm going to go into that too and explain memes a little bit. This article is just hilarious because it's bullshit. They're taking the photo and trying to say, well, this photo's not real, so the entire thing's not real. But they're cherry-picking what to focus on. Pre-woke versus post-woke. There's now, and then gender is like sex that's on a spectrum. Right? The screenshot has become quite popular meme on alt-right social media, posted by people like Andrew Klavan, Ian Miles Cheong, and host of Anonymous Trolls Milo Yiannopoulos, also appears to have posted it to Facebook, but has since deleted it, and of course Reddit's hub for pro-Trump propaganda, the Donald, has given the fake image of his 1,000 upvotes. Right-wing sites like that ironically named Truth Revolt have also perpetuated the lie with headlines like, "Image proves Bill flip-flop on gender fluidity." Which isn't true. The image doesn't prove that, but he did flip-flop on it. As though the image itself was proof of something Bill Nye said rather than a Photoshop job. I know it's shocking to hear, oh, the condescension, I love this, but there's a lot of things on the internet that are totally fake. Anyone could take a screenshot. Yeah, like New York Times, Huffington Post, BuzzFeed, I know. Screenshot a famous person and put quote on a caption next to them. Even if they never said that particular thing, we see this a lot with quotes from famous people. That's true. That is true. People just take quotes and put them by, like, Adam Sandler, and it's not true. How do we know Bill Nye never said the thing about gender being determined by your chromosomes? Because you can watch the entire episode for ourselves. So what did Nye actually say? Our genes are stored in parts of our cells called chromosomes. They look like chromosomes, contain all the genetic information, all the instructions you need to make a person. Now humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46. It's like the instruction are stored in 46 books. Yeah, okay. You can watch the entire episode on YouTube if you're so inclined, or I've trimmed it down to just the part in question and uploaded it here. But just remember that people can make up screenshots pretty easily, then they do a fake screenshot. Okay, now here's the thing. This article is false. This article is presenting you with fakeness, because like I said, they cherry-picked how to present this. Here's an article debunking this one, right? Okay, there's the picture. This past weekend, Bill Nye the Science Guy shocked the world by deviating from science and telling his audience on the new show Bill Nye Saves the World that what makes someone male or female isn't so clear-cut. And here's the thing. I watched that episode a couple times Trying to get side. There's one part with the brain that's kind of interesting, and part at the end with chromosomes. But he doesn't have. He's basically just like 1 in 400 births have an abnormality, so thus transgenderism is something we should all consider the norm, and it's all blah blah. It's like, okay, so 1 in 400 abnormality. I don't think that means that that person's necessarily trans, and I also don't think that like is the blanket statement. Like, okay, it's normal. It's still something that's not normal. It's still something that's very rare. I don't even think. That's the thing. He tries to, and then I wouldn't think this, but he has this whole bit on there that's like with vanilla ice cream and all the other ice creams, and the whole thing is talking about how basically being heterosexual and wanting to have sex with, like, heterosexual sex, like you want to have sex with a woman if you're a man, man with woman, like how that was wrong, how that's like a social thing, and really you want to fuck everyone you want to fuck. I mean, that's how the cartoon presented it to me, like, hey, lick strawberry, lick chocolate, lick everything. It was very weird. And it wasn't like a race thing entirely. It was saying, like, lick mint chocolate chip because it's two things at once. You can be male and female at the same time, which is not true at all. I don't know why this stuff was presented in Bill's episode. It's completely anti-science. And biology, but he's a mechanical engineer, so he's the expert in biology. After a way... But, okay, wait, let's go here, okay. The TV show, here's the meme. Okay, and here's where we debunk it. Needless to say, people quickly scored the internet to find the episode from the screenshot was taken, and came to the conclusion that Nye never promoted the idea of gender is determined by your chromosomes. Earlier today, Gizmodo put out the article titled "The Viral Photo of Bill Nye Talking About Gender is Completely Fake." But not so fast. Nye never claimed gender is determined by chromosomes on this episode. However, in a 1996 episode in Season 4 of Bill Nye the Science Guy, they do in fact say this just about gender. Now, it's not Bill Nye, it's a girl saying it. Right? It's an episode about probabilities, a short one, and a half-a-minute segment describes their gender is determined by X and Y chromosomes. A young woman used X and Y magnets on a refrigerator to depict how gender is determined. This is for children, how simple it's explained. Okay, so we have the video here. Video should be here. Well, I thought it was. I guess it isn't here. Okay, well, let me see if I can find it on this site. I'll play it here. It's not exactly in the best quality, but it's what it is. Okay, here's the girl in the episode explaining this. Bill Nye sets her up. This is from a different episode, though. This isn't from the episode. That's basically the thing. They took the image from another episode, and then put the stuff that was said in this episode over it. So it did seem like Bill Nye said it when he didn't say it, but it was on his show, so that means he agreed with it at the time. Once again, this is science for children to understand. Basic biology. How dare they spread this propaganda to children in the 90s and lie to them and not let them know that they can be whatever they want. Thank you, Two-Face. Man, these special effects are kick-ass, though. Holy crap. It's like a Zack Snyder movie. Oh! Okay, so that was on Bill Nye's show. Now, to go in this a little further, let me try to explain memes to you on some level. An image does not have to be from something directly for the reference in the meme to make sense. Memes don't have a rule and a structure 100%. Now, sure, somebody may have presented it that image like this is totally what Bill Nye say, but if he said that on his show back in the 90s, which that girl did on his show, which would have been his show, this would have went through him. Okay, let's look at the Keanu Reeves memes. This image of Keanu Reeves that we all know, this famous image. Okay, what if chickens can't fly because they are afraid? Now, that image that's from, Keanu didn't say that about chickens. None of these things that he said came from this image. They're not related. What if air is actually poisonous and it just takes 80 years to kill us? That has nothing to do with where the image came from. What they did was they took the image, you see Keanu Reeves, you get the voice it in, you get what it is, you get like, whoa, You get the context, then they add the dialogue, and the meme explains itself. It doesn't have to connect. That's how memes work. So when somebody puts up that image of Bill Nye, and they show him like this, they show him from his 90s, and then they show something that his show said back in the 90s, his show in a 96 episode that we have proof of, the meme is referencing that, and you get it. It clicks. It's really the same thing. But with someone like Gizmodo, they're trying to debunk the whole thing and act like it never happened. Instead of just saying, hey, Bill Nye's show did say this, and making their point, they're trying to act like the alt-right. And these fucking comments, it's a bunch of people on here that are like, a bunch of the comments, I went and looked through them on here, it's like these fucking alt-right. For a bunch of people who claim to want only the facts and to support politicians who tell it like it is, conservatives and their fellow travelers seem to consistently believe and spread easily debunked outright lies that the general population. This isn't really a lie. It's just a meme that's misrepresented slightly, but it is true. That is true. Bill Nye's show said that, and it's something different. So you're misrepresenting, which is this typical leftist tactic. They don't focus on what the real argument is about the science. They try to debunk something like, oh, look at this, the crowd size, or this image, or that. So, oh, conservatives are all liars. It's like, okay, you can't just try to blame one group. Okay, so here's this, right? When Netflix, here's the thing now. They have Bill Nye, the science guy, on Netflix. That segment in that episode is gone now in the Netflix show. You can watch it on the original YouTube video, and I remember that as a kid, very, very vividly. When uploaded to Netflix, an episode of the educational children's show Bill Nye the Science Guy cut out a segment saying that chromosomes turn into one gender. In the original episode titled Probability, a young woman told viewers, okay, and then she tells, see inside each of our cells, these are these things called chromosomes, and they control whether we are a boy or a girl. Okay, right? So, but in this version of the episode uploaded to Netflix, the segment has been cut entirely. It's not clear whether the 1990 segment was cut when it was first uploaded, or whether the edit was in reaction to recent controversy over Bill Nye's stance on gender identity. Those were the good old days, back when gender was determined by old-fashioned chromosomes, not hormone injections and wax sessions. Way before Bill's current Netflix monstrosity, which boasts a number of scientific achievements, mostly virtue signaling and hip gyrating. Science! No, it's very awkward to watch Bill like DJ and do all the crap on that. But like I said, I already did a live stream where I made fun of the sex junk and all that crap and how cringe it was and terrible. But this is an interesting video. I was way more into this because this just shows you how the left and right fight each other, right? The right, or maybe not the right even, but how this stuff happens though. We're like, hey, Bill Nye's full of shit on this. An image goes around, then they try to twist that around, then it blows the thing up even more, and then you find out they pulled the thing off Netflix. Now it's not there, so we can't even go on Netflix and like, well, hey, look, this is in this episode, and then it contradicts it later in this future show Bill Nye has. And it's like, oh, well, he changed his mind. I'm okay with him changing the mind if the science was there. The science isn't there. There hasn't been a huge biological breakthrough from 96 to now to change that original idea. And Bill brings on no experts on the show. His experts are terrible. I mean, it's hilarious. One of his experts is like a gender studies teacher, which is nothing. That's not an expert field of anything. And yeah, then he does the clownfish thing. Then he does the awful ice cream cartoon, which I actually think is kind of offensive. It's basically saying like heterosexuality is like wrong in a sense. Is the context I got. So whoever edited that old segment, Netflix, Bill Nye, or any of Nye's cronies, they're responsible for shamelessly silencing actual science. That's what I'm saying why I'm not pro-Bill Nye at all anymore. This is anti-science. He's involved with covering up something that was for children to teach them basic biology. It's not like and they said, well, there wasn't a lot of research and studies done to understand this stuff. The research and studies that are out there now are not convincing. And Nye does not know. His best argument was with the brain thing, but then it's basically like, okay, well, you're saying there's the male-female brain then. So I'm confused. If you're saying there's a male-female brain, how is gender a spectrum? If you're saying that our brains determine this, like he's talking about this, I'm like, wait a minute. So if there's a male-female brain and trans people can have a male or female brain, a similar male or female brain, then you're saying that it's not a social construct with the gender thing because of the brain. Like, that's what I'm saying, and none of it makes any sense. It's like, wait a minute, then what's the actual science? It seems like you're saying men and women are men and women, and there's really not that many variations. There's like intersex. But then, but they're like, fuck it. Alright, while Bill Nye claims that the mantle of prehistoric dude who grants gender wishes via the power of all things science, Someone is dusting his trail of any semblance of biology. They've traded in real science for fake science, reality for political correctness, but fret not, they kept the bow tie. It's an important part of his image. Facts, on the other hand, not so much. Also about Bill Nye being a mechanical engineer, everyone always brings up to me. He was only a mechanical engineer for 9 years, and I know he did the thing with the 747s and all, but still, he didn't do it that long. He then became a stand-up comedian and then started doing a show for kids. I mean, it's kind of weird. People bring that up. It's like, he didn't really do it that long. I mean, it's not like he showed this love and passion for being an engineer. He didn't do it his whole life. Like, he purely likes being on TV and dancing and doing this stuff. He's trying... I mean, I always wonder if Bill Nye's just a really bad comedian that found a gimmick with the science thing and now he's trying to become a comedian somewhat. Like, Bill... Just talk about... I like Bill Nye the Science Guy, the show, but it was like... It was just straightforward science. And then it was fun. It was for kids. It was really well produced. Incidentally, the meme then went around the Twitters. Well, the aforementioned episode kind of confirms that meme, yeah? Even the news outlets were quick to correct the meme as if it was a word-for-word quote rather than just a meme of Bill's show, despite there being no actual quotation that marks around the pulled phrase. That's what I was saying. The Keanu Reeves meme, everyone gets the context. It's not that's how memes work. It's silly to make that argument. This is the same dude who wants to jail climate change skeptics, which he did say that every time Bill Nye gets asked about this, he won't go into it, but he did say, he's like, hey, is it wrong to jail the guys at Enron? We'll see. We'll see. It's like, Bill, what the fuck are you talking about? The answer is no. You do not jail people that that are skeptical of climate change. You do not do that. That's insanity. You directly say, no, that's a bad idea. Bill Nye, the anti-family guy, wants to punish family with extra kids. Oh, yeah, he wants to do the population control. All on the basis of facts, like the facts he's desperately trying to conceal. So sciencey, that guy. But yeah, basically, so I love this. Bill Nye's episode is fucking awful. It's got a lot of shit science. He just ignores a lot of things. Basic stuff that he could go through. He doesn't bring on any actual biologists. They don't talk about any actual science. They don't go into it. And then shit sites like Gizmodo think they can just try and debunk this and be like, Bill never said that. He always knew it was on a spectrum. You know, he even says in the episode, we used to think one way and we don't anymore. So he's saying he changed his mind, which I'm fine with him saying. I don't agree with him, but you just can't get any honesty here. No one wants to believe that Bill Nye might have had a different point of view at one time. Oh my goodness. And he may have sold out his point of view for political correctness. You mean someone who's in the science community could be manipulated? Oh my god, you mean that he could be corrupt? No, scientists couldn't be corrupt. That's impossible. This is what pisses me off about the left. They use science as a blanket statement in the same way that like radical conservatives or you know, radical religious people use religion in that way, where they're like, God answers everything. They're like, science answers everything. And then they don't know the science. They can't explain the science to you when they're debating you, but they give you a scientist, or Bill Nye is not even an expert, and he feels like, well, here's my argument from authority, this confirms my opinions, and then they can't explain to you. Yet when you show them, like, well, hey, let me explain the biology to you, let me explain these things, let me show you studies and statistics and the actual science, and looking at the mental illness aspects of transgender people, not the actual chromosomes or anything, that they have a mental illness, right? Gender dysmorphia, that stuff, that we have stuff to back up a lot more than your shit. Let's look at that. And they're like, no, fuck that. Bill Nye says this. It's like, okay, wait a minute. So did you agree with him before when his old show was on, and now you agree with him now because you saw this? So you can't think for yourself. You can't look at the research and the science. These are people that want someone to speak for all of them. It's just as cringe to deny climate change entirely and not know the science as it is to defend it all blindly and how much money we need to spend on it when you don't know the science. You're both in the wrong because you're taking an extreme position without doing the research. This is like an atheist. Some atheists piss me off because they just blindly hate all religion and they didn't read any of the books. They can't criticize the religion properly. They just fall back on the sky people thing. It's like, no, you need to be able to criticize. Like Sam Harris, when he talks shit about Islam or Christianity, he's well researched in it, so when he criticizes it, he can do it properly. That's the way you should do it. That's how you win a battle of ideas. Bill Nye is pushing a political agenda. He's not pushing science. There's some science in his show, yes, but it's only when it suits his narratives to the things that are on his political spectrum. He doesn't care when it comes to everything else. He's not objective. He is not serving science well. And he used to serve science well with children, and it's just showing that he's manipulated. This is our proof. And the Netflix thing, with shows like Dear White People out there now, and 13 Reasons Why, all the PC shit. I'm starting to get worried about Netflix. Netflix, and then they have this thing pulled from his original thing. I mean, this is fucked up. We're seeing this all over, and you can watch it on YouTube, though. It exists. There it is. We watched it. This is the insanity of it. Are they just teaching kids in all the schools now this stuff? Gender fluidity, and it doesn't matter, and sex is a spectrum, and chromosomes, fuck it, and everyone's got abnormalities, and you can be whatever you want. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, it's crazy. They're going to censor anything that goes against it, even though the science isn't there. I mean, they act like it's settled. Like, we're not talking about it anymore. Like, no, it's settled. You're all wrong and bigoted. You're a transphobic asshole. It's like, no! This is the craziest thing since Satanic Panic in the 90s. Everyone gets labeled alt-right, Nazi now, and a science denier if they criticize anyone that's put in the little club like Bill Nye. And you can't criticize someone like this and think that he has an agenda for reasons I don't fucking know. Why can't I criticize Bill Nye? I've gotten so much shit over the years for criticizing Bill Nye. I don't even hate Bill Nye. I liked his show when I was a kid. Okay? The problem with Bill Nye now is that he is a liberal fucking cuck. That's what he is. He doesn't just talk about climate change from a scientist's point of view. He talks about, like, the government relations, money, politicians, people. He blames... I mean, it's a blame game. It's very hateful. He's a very vitriolic guy. He doesn't show this optimism about science life. You know why I love Jurassic Park? Because the scientists go to the park and they're optimistic about human life and they don't want to just bring dinosaurs back because they know that humans and dinosaurs shouldn't just be together like that. And they don't want just a theme park that sells science. They want science to be something that can progress mankind. They're good people. They don't care about the money. They're good fucking people. That's why Jurassic Park's a powerful movie. It's not because of the dinosaur special effects and stuff. It's because the scientists is one of the best depictions of scientists ever in a movie. It's because they're good fucking people that care about humanity and want to help humanity, which is what a scientist should do. Bill Nye wants to push his political agenda. He'll bring out some hack celebrity to come sing some terrible song that can't fucking dance or rap. And he'll be like, that's the right message. He'll structure a terrible show to push this crap when he could have actually explored this issue really deeply and interestingly and brought in experts and we could have heard something. Instead, we get the clownfish argument. Well, you're a clown, Bill. Anyways, the patriarchy. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, go fuck yourselves.